From hilariously quick squashes killing off any potential as an in-ring force to be reckoned with, to over-the-hill veterans hammering the nail in promising sensations' coffins, these wrestlers all had their momentum substantially derailed in next to no time at all. Gareth here from WhatCulture Wrestling, and here are 10 wrestlers who became losers in 1 second. Number 10, Zack Ryder, WWE Raw, February 13th, 2012. A1's career-making dream spell while signed to Vince McMahon's massive organization quickly devolved into nightmare territory for the Long Island IC. Dumped into a romantic angle with Eve Torres on the back of a crowd-popping US Championship victory, Zack Ryder would then be repeatedly battered by a remasked Kane, en route to a now infamous spell whilst locked into a wheelchair. This would all lead to one of the most humiliating beats to be unleashed upon a fan favorite in quite some time, as apparent pal John Cena locked lips with Eve upon saving her from the Big Red Machine's Big Red Machine, or in other words, an ambulance. Sure enough, as the camera panned to the right, there was a helpless Ryder, chocolates and roses in lap for Valentine's Day, no less, with Vinnie Mac no doubt howling in gorilla as the embarrassing angle all but sentenced the once-over sensation to permanent mid-card purgatory. While the subsequent wheeling off the stage at the hands of Kane and smacking in the balls at the boot of Eve at WrestleMania 28, both sitters further nails in Ryder's respectable single-star coffin, it all started with a kiss. Number 9, Brian Cage, AEW Rampage, October 8th, 2021. Entering All Elite territory as the eye-catching surprise entrant in Double or Nothing's 2020's Casino Ladder match, and winning the whole damn thing at that, former Impact World Champion Brian Cage looked set to become the wrecking machine monster that AEW had been looking for. And while an unsuccessful attempt to dethrone AEW World Champion Jon Moxley didn't immediately catapult him to superstardom, his crowning as the first ever All Elite FTW champion and positioning as Team Taz's focal point suggested big things for Swolverine. As the months would trickle by, however, it became more and more evident that Tony Khan had next to no plans of pushing Cage past the level of credible challenger to the various real All Elite champions on his roster. In the end, post numerous unsuccessful title challenges and a battering at the hands of an icon, an FTW title losing effort against Ricky Starks set the stage for a fatal blow to his All Elite standing. Outthought, outmuscled and outmatched by Team Taz in the Rampage rematch for said strap, Cage is still yet to resurface on All Elite programming and seemingly has had to settle for a spot on Khan's new Ring of Honor side project going forward. Number 8, Diamond Dallas Page, WWE Raw, August 20th, 2001. Sitting as one of WCW's most adored and respected babyface forces throughout his cherished run as that promotion's People's Champion, it's not exactly difficult to understand why fans were eagerly awaiting a Diamond Dallas intervention upon WWE's acquisition of their competition, and a number of one-time WCW World Champion services back in 2001. And while going toe-to-toe with The Undertaker isn't to be sniffed at when it comes to debut feuds within Vinnie Mac's walls, the nature of DDP's arrival and subsequent booking of his odd stalker character did the charismatic presence little favors in the long run. A white-hot response to said reveal of Page being the man behind the stalker mask may have acted as one of the invasion's strongest beats. But the former WCW man was made to look like an utter tit throughout his painful program with the Dead Man, cementing his spot as yet another resident loser from the other side by eating a loss from Taker's then wife Sarah on the 20th of August edition of Raw is War, thanks to some phenom interference at ringside. Number 7, Finn Balor, WWE Raw, October 23rd, 2017. Finn Balor's main roster run hit its climax at a remarkable rate, with the former Prince Devitt becoming the first ever Universal Champion within his first month as part of Monday Nights. Yeah, that's about as good as things were ever destined to get for the two-time NXT champion, as a long-awaited return from the injury that stripped him of said Red World title would set the Irish sensation down a rather depressing path. Despite returning to a sizable reception on the Raw after Mania 33, the former Bullet Club leader would have his title ambitions squeezed out of reach by Samoa Joe at Extreme Rules, and was ultimately shuffled into the mid-card shortly after. And while hopes of Balor once again regaining his spot at the top of the mountain were bolstered by an impressive performance in an AJ Styles dream match at TLC 2017, the sometimes Demon King squashing after Kane's 3 emphatic chokeslams on the next night's edition of Raw spoke more than words ever could on Vince McMahon's perception of the former New Japan Pro Wrestling darling. Some 5 years on, he's still not looking very good, is he? Number 6, Melina, WWE Royal Rumble, January 30th, 2022. The sight of Melina finally returning to the promotion at this year's Royal Rumble brought with it a reception worthy of a re-emerging hero destined to make a sizable impact on the titular bout. Unfortunately, that would not turn out to be the case at all. with the star also known for her work in the NWA and Impact Wrestling, being given less than a minute of the spotlight in the 30-woman over-the-top rope spectacular. In next to no time at all, the former M&M figure was dumped out by #1 entrant Sasha Banks. And Melina herself would even note how she assumed she'd be given more chance to shine after so much time away from the WWE machine, replying with a comment of "same here" when asked why she didn't play a bigger role in the match on Instagram. Whatever way you slice it, WWE made a 5-time women's champion go from crowd-popping returning veteran to inferior returnee in the eyes of those inside the dome with just one pitifully tame elimination. Number 5, The Fiend, WWE Super Showdown, February 27, 2020. It still feels like the events of Super Showdown 2020 show closing bout were little more than a Saudi fever dream, doesn't it? Or at least that's what Bray Wyatt wishes he was experiencing on the night of February 27th. But alas, his emphatic beating at the hands of the superhero children around the world most definitely deserved, Bill Goldberg, was very much a legitimate moment that still makes for a compellingly bizarre rewatch to this day. After conquering the likes of Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, and The Miz over the course of a Universal Championship run and period that had seen WWE very much place all of their demented eggs in Wyatt's fiendish basket, the man's attempts to protect his grizzled old Superman character would see all that inconsistent work be undone in a matter of moments. Despite the Fiend employing his usual no-selling of your best shot on the back of numerous spears, a painful struggle of a jackhammer was ultimately enough to murder what remained of Wyatt's mystique. Number 4, Shayna Baszler, WWE Raw, June 7th, 2021. However, if the relentless billionaire playground that is WWE has taught us one thing over the years, it's that even an idea or concept completely massacred in one swift squash can be recycled and ran even further into the ground before your very eyes. Case in point, I give you the fiendish powers of one Alexa Bliss, resulting in everything the former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion touching with her pain and play gloves being almost irreparably damaged. Hot on the heels of former no-nonsense NXT Women's Champion and one-time legit MMA fighter Shayna Baszler invading Alexa's playground and being made to look like an utter goof by engaging in Bliss's doll-infused nonsense in early June 2021, typically mind-numbing dialogue was inevitably followed by more Thunderdome supernatural stupidity. Cue backstage lights are flickering, doors mysteriously are locking, and the Queen of Spades are panicking, as the one-time most dominant force the Black and Gold brand's women's division had ever seen was made to crap her pants at a disappearing doll to the point of smashing a mirror to pieces. Looks like she only has herself to blame for the subsequent 7 years of dreadful booking heading away then. Number 3, Bob Backlund, WWF MSG, November 26, 1994. Bob Backlund went from the star who somehow got the better of the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, to feeling like anything but God some 3 days later. Clearly being used as little more than a transitional champ to keep Bret Hart from having to job out to an incoming Diesel, Backlund was thoroughly and swiftly dispatched at a house show inside of Madison Square Garden on November 26, 1994. Just like that, a reign that looked to be paving the way for an unexpected final run in the main event's sun was jackknife powerbomb to smithereens in just 8 seconds, as the paying public would so kindly remind Backlund over the coming weeks. To make matters worse, Bruce Pritchard would later note on his Something to Wrestle With podcast that the former champ was fuming with the execution of Kevin Nash's finisher, with Backlund smashing his tailbone rather hard upon taking Diesel's powerbomb. It seems this iconic loser could not catch a break on that famous night in the Garden. Number 2, Karrion Kross, WWE Raw, July 19th, 2021. Amassing an impressive 14-month-long undefeated run, admittedly one marred by injury partway through. Whilst occupying the black and gold landscape, Karrion Kross very much felt like a Triple H pet project with the main roster very much in mind. Combining supernatural theatrics with a highly physical and dominant in-ring style, Kross's 2 stints whilst holding NXT's top title seem to all but confirm his destiny to become a feature player for the game's father-in-law. Yeah, just as WWE finally welcomed back a live crowd desperate to be entertained, said potential to contend at the top of the Raw or SmackDown card was stunningly rolled up in about 2 minutes flat. Said unexpected Jeff Hardy victory, making a mockery of Kross's all-conquering displays up until this point, only added to the already crumbling presence of the one-time NXT champion. Gone was his atmospheric entrance, engaging manager, and now his in-ring credibility. In their place was a stunned face visual that quickly undid a year or so of consistent pushing and laughing in the face of the pummeling of many a developmental darling. Number 1, Danhausen, AEW Dynamite, May 11th, 2022. Occupying the AEW atmosphere time and time again since making his high-profile signing for the company official in January, fans have been eagerly awaiting the eccentric Cursor's in-ring debut for months, coming into his first ever singles contest on the May 11th edition of Dynamite. Yet, those expecting to see the sort of entertaining Danhausen display witnessed in the likes of Ring of Honor and Full Impact Pro were in for a mighty surprise on said Wednesday night. Utterly pulverized by Tony Nese in a matter of seconds. One running knee in the corner was all it took to best the goofball. Now, this turn of events and the beatdown that would follow were obviously designed to make the birth of Hookhausen that little more satisfying on the night. And Danhausen's lack of offense may also be a sign of his once seriously broken leg still not being 100%. However, there's no denying that the sea of Danhausen supporters out there would have no doubt been entirely deflated by their face-painted boy's weak display on night one. And it's also hard to look past Hook now being positioned as the one to routinely bail out his newfound and seemingly useless odd partner in the coming months. Very nice, very evil, but also very much framed as a loser out of the gates. And that's our list of any other wrestlers who became losers in 1 second. Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you like this kind of thing, then make sure to head on over to WhatCulture.com and find some more incredible articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on, and I would know because this loser wrote it. I've been Gareth from WhatCulture Wrestling. Thank you as always for clicking on this video today, and I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye.